What's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're jumping into the Black Ops 7 Season 1 roadmap specifically for zombies. Treyarch just put this out. Honestly, I'm extremely excited for this. I've had a ton of fun already in Black Ops 7 Zombies. Personally, I think the game is worth the value. However, there are tons of people out there trying to tell you not to buy the game. So I really say it's up to you at the end of the day, but this content does look incredible, and I cannot wait for Season 1. It is going to be on December 4th. We're like barely a week away, and we just had the launch not that long ago. So we're obviously getting access to the new map, Astra Malorum. This is going to be a space-themed map. We're going to space. We're going to actually be pretty much in a map that's inside a giant skull within space, which is kind of insane. So their description of Astra Malorum is an insatiable hunger for knowledge of the cosmos, a powerful, evil presence within the dark ether, twisted rituals that grew in intensity in the cold depths of space. A century-old observatory guards a gateway to a dead world. The unknown of the galactic void awaits. Honestly, I'm extremely excited to see what the boss fight is on this map. But the good news is we get to see first look at O.S.C.A.R, which is going to be the new elite. This Sentinel robot, a remnant of mid-20th century cinematic imagination, has somehow become an animated stalking menace that roams the dark halls of the observatory, known as the Observation System and Carnifex Agitator Robot, or O.S.C.A.R for short. This elite entity seems to be persistent in assessing and neutralizing threats, slowly hovering, patrolling areas where a disturbance has occurred. Using a detection field to scan the environment in methodical sweeping motions, should a threat be determined, O.S.C.A.R switches to combat mode, and at this point, countermeasures are deployed. It has a drone shield. A smaller mobile robot tethers itself to O.S.C.A.R, keeping it immune to all incoming damage. Additional drones should be expected should a more protracted battle occur. A Tesla field. An offensive electrical arc crackles out of O.S.C.A.R's carapace, searing damage into any nearby threats. Expect additional electrical offensive when O.S.C.A.R engaged in close quarters fighting. So that kind of sounds like if you're within a certain radius, it's going to put out like an electrical surge like around it in a shield fashion, that if you're by it, it's going to do some sort of shock damage, maybe similar to how a shock mimic functions. Attack drone's hologram. A drone hologram is deployed from O.S.C.A.R's chest cavity and travels directly toward a perceived threat. Should the hologram connect with that threat, any nearby undead entities are attracted to attack in a fiercely enraged state. I would assume that's going to function similar to how Frenzied Guard does when you actually choose to pop it. The only difference is this guy's going to shoot a hologram at you, and if it hits you, then not by choice, you're going to be attacked as if you are in Frenzied Guard. Infernal circuitry projectile. Should a threat become unreachable, O.S.C.A.R produces non-critical internal parts from its interior and hefts them at a threat. That'll be really fun for the people that like to get in glitches and not get hit by zombies, because if that's the case, unless you're in complete God mode where you actually can't be hit, sounds like this guy's got a way to hit you. Now, of course, what would a new map be without a new wonder weapon? Astra Malorum new wonder weapon, the LGM-1. This thing is absolutely sick. If you guys did see the trailer, then you probably saw the little clip of it being fired, or if you guys are on X. The little green menace launches saucer squadrons that exterminate enemies like the lower life forms they are. Shoot for the stars, a retro sleek artifact with unique target acquisition and annihilation qualities. The LGM-1 shoots out partially autonomous saucer-like projectiles that swarm nearby targets with miniature but potent laser fire. This thing is so cool. It shoots little tiny UFOs. The small squadron of independent spacecraft prioritizes the closest targets and depends on weapon aiming. These flying discs then track and circle enemies before returning to the LGM-1 for replenishment. I don't even know if there could be a cooler wonder weapon. Obviously, we have to get our hands on it. I am going to be curious to see, well, I guess it would probably be in this if there was some sort of upgrades for the weapon, or if it's one of those weapons where we will also be able to just pack-a-punch it. So my guess is, based on what we've seen so far, we are just going to be able to pack-a-punch it. But I'm personally extremely excited for this wonder weapon. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys think this is one of the coolest wonder weapons you've ever seen in Black Ops 7, or not Black Ops 7, in Black Ops Call of Duty Zombies, basically. We're getting a couple of new traps on the map. Obviously, new maps, new traps. That's kind of how it goes, right? The Stellar Dissector costs 1,000 essence, cut up zombies with fatal laser beams. How much you guys want to bet the high round strat is going to be related to one of these two traps? I almost guarantee it's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see how that works. Maybe even involves both. A central feature of the observatory's luminarium is an archaic celestial beamcaster that has been attached to a tall Tesla coil. When exploring this astral pavilion, this contraption might do more than catch your eye. Sounds pretty interesting. Honestly, looks pretty cool here. It's just going to shoot lasers in all directions. Hopefully it can't damage the player, but Based on this image here, I wouldn't expect it to, because why would they be standing in it if that was the case, right? Now, our other trap is the Apogee Annihilator. Bomb zombies with astronomer rockets. This one costs 1,500. If you were to visit the Stargazer's courtyard once certain criteria were met, you may encounter a rusting mechanical turret shown on the right of the above image with an ornate crank and rustic rocket repository. Perhaps the rows of missiles encased in sticks of dynamite might come in handy if you and your crew find yourself in a bit of a pickle. Oh, so it's interesting because it words it specifically as if you were to visit the Stargazer's courtyard once certain criteria were met. So it doesn't sound like you're going to have access to this off the rip, and it doesn't make it sound like it's as simple as turning on power. So maybe there's something a little bit more to discover to actually get access to this interesting sounding trap. Honestly, I like discovery. I like that part of zombies. I think it's really cool. And it's a space map, so they got me there. So they're actually letting us know the main quest rewards, and challenges. The main quest for Astra Malorum goes live when the map releases with Season 1 on December 4th. Complete the main quest to earn the following: a new classified operator skin for classified, calling card and 10,000 XP, complete Astra Malorum Mastery Challenge for another calling card and 5,000 XP, obtain the necessary intel, audio logs, documents, and artifacts to earn a third calling card for another 10,000 XP, and players who complete the main quest before directed mode arrives for this map will also earn a unique calling card variant. Astra Malorum also comes with 6 new calling card challenges with an animated mastery card for completing the entire set. Players can access the set from the map selection screen in the quest reward intel widget or via the zombies calling card challenges menu in the map category. There might even be some new Dark Ops challenges to discover. We haven't even discovered all the first Dark Ops challenges. Honestly, I'm pretty excited that that's already being included with the first map in Season 1. That was something that was really lackluster last year. They basically added like almost no new calling cards for Dark Ops throughout the entirety, and then when they did, it was like 4 of them, and they honestly weren't all that exciting. Now, we already knew about this, but we are getting the survival map Exit 115. Of course, if you played Ashes of the Damned, which I would imagine you have if you're watching this video, then you probably are familiar with the diner area, and that will be a new survival map at the start of Season 1. And I think they already said that it was mid-season or Season 1 Reloaded when we would get the Cosmodrome as another survival map location. My hope is that once we get into Season 2, maybe they'll choose some of the Astra Malorum locations as survival maps, because I think that will be a fun way to spice things up throughout the year, and they're not just going to put out more of the locations from Ashes. Like, I don't think we need all of the locations from Ashes of the Damned. I think that we could do with even 3 of them, which is half of them, and then we can move on to other locations on other maps. And survival maps don't even necessarily have to be completely limited to the zombies maps, right? They could essentially do Nuketown and bring us a survival map on Nuketown. It's not like that's happened before. Okay, let's go through the new gameplay content. Standard mode, you're going to have access to round-based zombies with limited guidance on both Ashes of the Damned and Astra Malorum, recommended for intermediate players. We're going to get directed mode for Ashes of the Damned. Return to Ashes of the Damned with a guided main quest experience. Rounds advance with progression with a maximum cap of round 15, recommended for casual or new players. Complete to obtain the following: the Bushwalker skin for Maya, as well as a calling card and 5,000 XP. There's also an additional calling card and 10,000 XP for obtaining all the necessary intel. Directed for Astra Malorum will be expected to be accessed in the mid-season. So Season 1 Reloaded, you guys can expect to get the directed mode for Astra Malorum, but I'm really excited to see how the directed mode works, specifically for Ashes of the Damned. We haven't done the main quest yet on Astra, so I don't know how I feel about that one yet, but I think that the big main quest that they did for Ashes of the Damned not only takes a while, but it'll be cool to see how they actually guide the players through it, and then obviously take them into the boss fight. I think a boss fight at round 15 in directed mode is going to be absolutely silly, but if you guys haven't checked out my recent video, the boys and I actually did it on round 10, and it was absolutely a lot of fun. We did use some gobblegums to get there. I think reasonably, round 9 is probably the lowest you'll do it, but nonetheless, it was a lot of fun to do that. So I definitely think directed mode is going to be really cool this year to see just how they guide people through some of these more difficult Easter eggs. It looks like Survival Exit 115 will have its own rewards as well. Survive as many rounds as possible in this isolated location from Ashes of the Damned with everything you need to put up a fight. The more rounds you survive, the more rewards you can earn. Chef's Special Animated Emblem and 1,000 XP for reaching round 10. Ravaged Charm and 2,500 XP for reaching round 25. And then the Perkaholic Ultra Gobblegum and 5,000 XP for reaching round 50. Even though these are just small rewards, I think it's cool to see them giving us more rewards or more milestones to hit that also give us rewards, which is just cool. Gives me people more incentive to try to go for those higher rounds that maybe they normally wouldn't be as inclined to do. Like I said, survival. Expect to enter Zarya Cosmodrome in survival at mid-season. So curse mode for Astra Malorum, no guidance, limited HUD, and loadout. Point system inspired by Black Ops 3. Search for 6 new relics to further increase difficulty after completing the map's main quest. All further information, including relics and rewards, is classified. The one question I do wonder, though, are you going to have the 9 relics that we've already had equipped for Ashes of the Damned available to you? Obviously, we still have one that hasn't been discovered, but if we get all 9 of those, do those carry over to the new map and then these are added on top of it? Or are these just going to be, the 6 and there's only going to be 6 for the new map? I'm guessing it's going to be a combination of both, and you'll be able to unlock the new ones and be able to, interchange a little bit more what positives and negatives you might, get out of it. So if you want to put on these certain 3 and you find them to be the least annoying to get access to golden armor, you'd be able to do so. It'll be more interesting to see how this plays out as we get more maps and more season content throughout the season. Now, it wouldn't be season 1 without the holiday mode. So it looks like Jingle Hells is returning. It's going to be on Astra Malorum. If you guys aren't familiar with this, it was available for Liberty Falls in Black Ops 6. Take the fight to the undead in Jingle Hells, a limited time holiday variant of Astra Malorum. The festive twist on round-based zombies brings snow, ice, and holiday chaos to the battlefield. Gather snowballs, battle through freezing weather as you attempt to complete the main quest in these freezing conditions. There's snowballs and snowball piles. Collect the snowballs from the piles around the map to freeze zombies. Frozen enemies are easier to eliminate and may drop holiday presents. The holiday presents from frozen zombies will give you loot quality that improves as the rounds climb higher. Present loot includes weapons, equipment, support, and upgrade items. Naughty or Nice power-ups. Pick up a stocking to test your luck. Nice drops multiple holiday presents, while Naughty spawns time waves of Ravagers. Snowmen, destroy the snowmen to find random loot. However, they might be hiding zombies inside as well. Freezing weather returns. While outdoors, players will begin to freeze, will lower their movement speed. That doesn't make any sense. At round 1, players move at 85% of their standard speed. As rounds progress, the map grows colder, with the slowdown capping at 50% movement speed. I get it. So as you progress in rounds, no matter what you're doing, as long as you're outside, I think you'll be moving significantly slower. We don't know how much of this map is outside, so that could be kind of interesting. Barrel fires. Ignite barrel fires in outdoor areas to create permanent warmth zones that cancel the freezing effect. Oh, that's cool. So there's a counter to being frozen. Additional tuning adjustments. Zombies have reduced health in the early rounds to help squads build momentum. All players start with bonus essence and salvage to accelerate early crafting and upgrades. Note, these tuning adjustments do not apply to the List Keepers Challenge. So that's apparently what's coming next. But the rewards for the main quest in the Jingle Hells mode include a holiday calling card, ultra gobblegum, and bonus XP. The holiday mode, List Keepers Challenge on Astra Malorum. A different storm has settled over Astra Malorum. The main quest is replaced by a chain of mysterious objectives delivered through the unseen hand of the List Keeper. Every task builds on the next, each demanding more control, awareness, and resolve than the last. Can you prove you have the virtues necessary to be recorded onto the list? The List Keepers Challenge. Each objective brings a new test. Some are easier to tackle solo, while others benefit from teamwork. Depending on where you struggle, and you will, you may find that changing your party size makes all the difference. That is insanely interesting. Rewards. Players who impress the List Keeper earn unique seasonal rewards, including a holiday calling card, ultra gobblegum, and bonus XP as trophies for those who answered the Keeper's call and endured what followed. This is an incredibly interesting holiday mode. I'm extremely excited to see what this entails. I hope it's as cool as it sounds and it's not something that's like basic and simple. I think it is going to be somewhat challenging if they're advocating for people to play in different party sizes. Like if you're a solo player, it doesn't sound like it's going to be very easy if you only do it solo, but we'll have to wait and see until we get our hands on it, right? The new Pack-a-Punch camos confirmed. Season 1 brings a variety of new Astra Malorum Pack-a-Punch camos to unlock, some of which are displayed above. Each has specific unlock criteria, with some being trickier to obtain than others. Note that any PAP camo you've previously unlocked while exploring Ashes of the Damned can be chosen as your preferred PAP camo here as well. So if you unlocked the Curse mode camos for Ashes of the Damned, sounds like you can equip those, and even on Astra Malorum, you can still utilize those Pack-a-Punch camos, but there's also some new ones that you can unlock along the way. The return of Mule Kick. Now, it's cool that they're calling it the return of Mule Kick, and they're not trying to sell us it as something brand new, but I think we all knew this day would come. A lot of people have been asking for this perk. I think it was kind of rumored to be coming out at some point in Black Ops 6. Never happened. Obviously, we're going to see it here in Black Ops 7. Now, the main thing that kind of gave it away to me, let's be honest, is the fact that when you have a weapon, you can no longer switch to your fists as a secondary. So my thought process is that they were always planning on making sure that people would want to pick up multiple weapons. And being that the fists were so powerful as a movement technique, I think that like most of the people are only ever running one weapon, which would have made Mule Kick seem kind of useless, I think, for a lot of people. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just kind of how I felt about it. But that's probably why they removed the fists as a secondary in general. And the only way to run faster now is basically to pull out your dedicated melee. Now, personally, I love that they give us access to seeing all of the augments ahead of time. The major augments, Pack Mule. You can carry more stock ammo. This applies to your primary weapons, and the amount varies depending on the type of weapon, including wonder weapons. Free Throw. Chance to keep equipment when used. Does not apply to the combat axe. This means when you throw non-retrievable equipment like a decoy or a Molotov, there is a chance your ammo count remains the same. That is absolutely awesome. Like, that's a whole different use for Mule Kick than having a third weapon, right? And by the way, that is the default thing. Carrying a third weapon is the default thing for Mule Kick, obviously. Or reliable. Your third primary weapon is recovered when you repurchase Mule Kick. Does not apply to limited quantity weapons like certain wonder weapons. Your weapon now no longer falls on the ground and is instead stored within the realm out of your grasp until Mule Kick is used again. So let's say you have Mule Kick on, you go down, you lose it. You no longer are going to lose that extra weapon that you had. And as soon as you get back to the machine and you repurchase Mule Kick, that weapon will just reappear, which is probably really incredible for a lot of people. Honestly, it's a pretty good feature. It's going to be kind of hard to decide what is absolutely the best because I'm going to want to be throwing equipment and then it kind of not counting a lot of the time, right? Free equipment, absolute W. Multi-pack. Pack punching a weapon might cause another weapon you are carrying to upgrade to the same PAP level. What are we even talking about? This is an insane augment. This includes your dedicated melee weapon. If the upgrade doesn't happen, the chance of it happening in the future increases. What? So if you pack a punch to level 1 on your weapon and you have this augment on and the other one doesn't pack a punch to level 1, when you go to pack a punch to level 2, the odds are even more increased. So let's say you go to pack 1 and pack 2 and magically you just have bad RNG. It's probably guaranteed when you get to pack 3. That is a really, really cool augment. I actually like the sound of that a lot. Minor augments, fully equipped. You can carry more equipment. This allows you to carry 1 additional tactical and 1 additional lethal. Definitely pretty powerful. Obviously, you're going to be able to get 2 minor augments equipped on this eventually as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Plate Hunter, you can carry an additional armor plate. Note, this one adds to your plate in reserve, not currently worn and protecting you, so you won't have a 4-plater at any point is what it's basically telling you. But what you will have is 4 plates in reserve instead of 3. BOGO, crafted equipment grants an additional equipment up to the maximum capacity. This allows you to craft 1 item and get another one for free if you have the inventory capacity. So that's kind of insane. Basically, you run out of monkey bombs, or maybe you want to purchase monkey bombs going into the boss fight. You go over and buy one, you'll get a second one for free, and you'll have 2 instead of 1. That's pretty cool. That might be incredibly useful, especially for speed runs and stuff like that. I think people could find that to be helpful. Now we get to go to the returning enhancements, and it's going to start with Lightmend. In order to speed things up a little bit here, I will put in the pinned comment down below the link to the blog so you guys can go and read it in depth if you'd like. But for these returning ones, I'm just going to read the new augments, just like I said, to kind of speed things along here. So for our major augment for Lightmend, we have Booster Shot. The healing glyph can now overcharge health. So kind of similar to how the gauntlet overcharges your health when you pull in your projectiles. I think the Booster Shot will do something similar whenever you actually pick these up and you're already at full health. For the new minor augment, it's going to be Mitosis. Each activation has a chance to create an additional healing glyph. That could be insane, especially because, again, we can have 2 minor augments equipped once we max these things out. Shatterblast is also going to return. We're going to do the new ones once again. Blast Shield. Damaging multiple enemies with Shatterblast temporarily mitigates damage you receive. That could be incredibly strong, but I would be under the impression that if you were blasting enemies with Shatterblast, they probably wouldn't be hitting you, but I could be wrong. For the minor augment, the new one's going to be Blast Through. Weapons with Shatterblast deal more damage through armor. 100% going to be using that. That's not even a question. Moving over to the field upgrade category, Tesla Storm, of course, is back. Haywire, periodically send out electrical charges that stun and damage enemies while the Tesla Storm is active. That could be pretty cool. And then Amped, increase the Tesla Storm stun and damage radius. So it's just how far it'll go. That's going to be insane. And how long, obviously, the enemies will be stunned. Frost Blast is obviously back. We didn't get that much time with it. It didn't seem like in BO6 anyway, so good to see that it isn't going to take forever for us to see it. Stone Cold Stronghold. I know somebody that's going to be really excited to see this, aka Donuts. Stone Cold Stronghold incoming damage is mitigated while you are inside the blizzard. That's going to be incredibly useful. Deep Chill. Enemies continue to be slowed after leaving the blizzard. You're going to be able to double down on these. I don't know how much this is going to impact it, but I guess it kind of depends on how long they are slowed once they leave the blizzard. And of course, Mr. Peaks is back. Peak health, heal rapidly while near Mr. Peaks. And then the minor augment is VIB discount. Mr. Peaks will offer an ammo discount to VIBs, very important buddies. That's actually kind of funny, but why would you need an ammo discount? I guess if you were using a wonder weapon, that might be incredibly useful, depending on how big the discount is. But for most of the other weapons, actually a lot. For curse mode, this could be incredibly powerful because the ammo is a lot more expensive. So that is definitely something to consider when it comes to the new minor augment specifically for Mr. Peaks. Now, we're not getting a lot in the Gobblegum department, but we are getting 2 new ones. It looks like Elemental Exposure. It is an instant type. Your weapons will always inflict damage of the target's elemental weakness, but that's why we have Rainbow Pop, Elemental Pop, Major Augment. So that isn't going to be a super useful Gobblegum to me, but I do still think it's a pretty cool Gobblegum. And then the other one we're getting is going to be a whimsical Gobblegum, Slayist. It plays a random zombies song. I mean, that could be kind of fun, actually. So people are going to want to be exfilling continuously to build those up so they can have some cool zombies music as they are slaying the undead. Now we're getting a bunch of returning equipment, which will be available through the crafting table as well. But it looks like almost all of it, let me see, I think actually all of it is going to be available mid-season. We're going to see the return of the shock charge, the impact grenade, the thermo grenade, the war machine, the grim reaper, the death machine, and the combat bow. It also looks like Season 1 will be providing us with a brand new leaderboard event for zombies, giving players a chance to compete to earn camos, gobblegums, and additional rewards. If it does include camos, that could be a ton of fun and very incentivizing for people to actually want to grind the crap out of one of these leaderboards. At launch, brave the inky void as well as the zombie onslaught of Astra, Malorum, and take home more than just bragging rights. The higher your placement in the leaderboard event, the greater the rewards, and you'll earn when the event ends, including camos and gobblegums. So they are incentivizing us, and it is very much saying there is camos involved, so that could be pretty cool. Additionally, players can complete leaderboard challenges to unlock a knife blueprint and weapon charm. And then the last thing on here is a bunch of Dead Ops Arcade 4 updates. If that's something you guys are currently diving into, then obviously you guys can jump in and read these for yourself. But honestly, I think this blog was jam-packed. Even though some of this stuff, some people could argue is recycled content, they're bringing it back from BO6, but hey, at least they're not drip feeding it to us over time. They're giving it to us all in one chunk here in Season 1. We're getting it all out of the way, leaving only Season 2, 3, 4, 5, and unlikely 6, because 6 normally doesn't have much, to give us all new content for Black Ops 7 Zombies. That's going to wrap things up for us here. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support in the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace!